MC Radio London, reaching you wherever you are.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back today to the show. Welcome to Youth Today again. It's myself and my lovely host, Marvelous, on the show today. Thank you for joining us. Last week we weren't here, so I just wanted to apologize for that. Maybe as many people that wanted to tune in due to some things that came up, we couldn't be here, but we're back again today, and that's the good thing, I guess. Yeah. So I hope everyone has had a lovely week so far. I hope everyone is enjoying Children's Day week. Happy Children's Day to me. Happy Children's Day to you, Mavi. I see with someone's child at least. Happy Children's Day. And today we're back with another topic. We're starting another topic today. And today, before I go into today's topic, let me just give a quick recap of what we've done. So over the last 3 weeks or 2 weeks, aside from last week, we've been looking at money and possessions, and we were looking at savings and investment, and how to do it the godly way, how to make sure that we're saving and at the same time saving according to God's will. And as youth, we also define how important that is for us to save and also for us to plan for our future, which is, investment. Savings also can be towards your future, but investment is more like a long-term thing, and savings is more like a, goal-oriented thing. So yeah, that's what we've been learning over the past weeks. So this week we're starting with something new. And at first, when I had this topic, I was like, But then again, after like looking into it more and trying to understand it from our daily lives as youth and younger people, I mean, in this generation, I thought, okay, this is actually something that actually goes on with us as youth. And today we'll be looking at toxic femininity. Just so you know, I didn't say toxic feminism. I said toxic femininity. So there's a slight difference between toxic feminism and toxic femininity. So I'll try and explain that as best as possible. So toxic feminism, as we all know, what feminists fight for is equal rights of men and women. So toxic feminism is now then taking those equal rights to the extreme. So in the sense that you're no longer just fighting for equal rights of men and women, you're now fighting for the superiority of women or the feminine gender over the male gender. So that is toxic feminism. Now then, looking at it, the other spectrum, which is toxic femininity, this is a bit different because this is something that a lot of women do without even realizing they're doing it. So this is not you fighting for equal rights of a man and a woman, for them to have equal rights, equal pay, equal access to everything. No, this is more of you using your features, your assets, things that pertain particularly to you as a lady, then taking it to the extreme over the male species. Let me sound like a biologist today. The male species. So it's more, it's a little different. I mean, you can still put them on the same platter, but then if we're really looking into the intricacies of these things, then they are separate, two very different things, if we look at it that way. And is very common amongst women. And personally, I feel like this toxic femininity was actually a result of misogyny or patriarchy. Misogyny in the sense of men trying to be very dominant, men trying to always, I don't even know how to explain the word patriarchy, but I would try my best as possible to also do that. But it's more like when you say, oh, this guy's a misogynist, it's more like it's the extreme, is also like the flip side of toxic femininity. So because of, liberation, new age, new century and everything, females, and also the rise of feminism, you can't deny that females are trying to like break out from the norm, break out from the, constraint that's been placed on them by society, and break out of the norm, and you're trying to be more than what society has, resorted them to be, more than being in the bedroom, more than being in the kitchen, more than being in the house, just for them to be seen. And in this as well, some have taken it to the extreme, which is now brought rise to like, which has now, caused the advent of toxic femininity. So I hope I have explained that best. Mavi, what do you think?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, like you said, patriarchy, where you're like, oh, the father, the man, or the man is like more revered, or misogyny. How do you pronounce
Misogyny,
that? Misogyny, yeah. Where, it's like they just wanna focus more on one gender and just leave the other out. I think, like you said, there's a very good big difference between, toxic feminism and femininity. And since we'll be looking at femininity today, it's like I said when I was, reviewing this topic, it's like, exaggerated a bit. It's taken to the extreme. Both of them, when you talk about toxic feminism, is also feminism, the act of feminism being taken to the extreme. So when they're trying to use that right, the right that they're fighting for, like you said, to gain superiority over the other gender, then it's toxic, or at least it's not acceptable. But when we're talking about femininity now, like you said, using all our assets, using all our everything that makes us woman, to to
basically favoring yourself over the other gender, giving people reasons why. I'm a woman now. So the things that we're already fighting against,
they bring
they
draw out the woman card. Yeah, they draw out the woman card. Okay, for example, a woman hits a man. She's like, bah, she hits her husband, she physically abuses her husband. And then when it's time for the man to do his own back, they bring out the woman card. They're like, I'm a woman, so you can't touch me. Like, don't do that. That is so oppressive. You sound so oppressive, and it's not good at all. Like, you shouldn't.
Okay, maybe not that example of hitting, because I feel like that's way up there.
Exactly, but
I get what you mean. I get what you mean.
Yeah, I know that it's a bit much, but I've witnessed it. Someone close to me, the woman, the wife abuses her husband physically, like she beats him up. I don't know I don't understand that kind of mentality. And then if the man wants to, because I mean, it's self-defense, isn't it? You can call it self-defense. Like, you're trying to defend yourself from being hit, and you hit your own back. Although that's not good. I mean, it's not fair for a man to hit a woman. Normally, they say don't do that, because even the Bible says that the woman is a weaker vessel that needs to be protected. But a woman that is acting like that, I don't know, she doesn't seem like a weaker vessel to me, does she? But then when it's time, when, for example, the man wants to hit his own back, which is, it's not acceptable, of course. The woman now draws out that card and she's like, I'm a woman, you don't do that. And everybody around is supporting that behavior. What? You shouldn't support such a behavior, okay? And I was speaking with Sheung earlier on, and I said to her, okay, what of in a relationship? A relationship is going bad. It's for the man and the woman to work together, doing each of their roles, their different roles, to make sure that a relationship works. But if the man is doing his part and the woman is not playing her part, it's like everyone is still going to blame the man anyways, because why can't you make your relationship work? What? The woman also has a role to play, and if she's not playing it, she shouldn't be drawing out her woman card at that time to say, oh, the blame goes on to the man. It's not fair at all. And of course, it's not only like when the woman is doing something wrong, completely wrong. It's also when she's being too nice.
Doing something right.
Yeah, right. Like sensitivity. They say women are more sensitive, more emotional.
It's more like emotional manipulation. And you're Bobby, say that I'm a girl. I'm a girl.
That is emotional blackmail. Like,
we're the ones fighting for, being heard, being listened to, being at the, allowing us to make decisions. Yeah. But then again, at the slightest chance that we get, some women play that toxic femininity card. But yeah, I think, something, I feel like one thing that I probably made this complete is that we should have probably maybe discussed toxic masculinity first, then toxic femininity, so that we can have like a plain level field. But at the same time, we're still going to do that anyway. So let's just focus on this one. But in the meantime, we do have a break. We're going to take a break, and we're going to be having the song Everything by Joy Saliu. Okay, we're just gonna go on a break now, and we're gonna have the song "Everything" by Joy Salil. Thank you.
Hey guys, welcome back on the show. This is Youth Today. We're still on AP Radio UK and MZ Radio London, and of course we've been talking about a very unique topic called toxic femininity. Toxic femininity, and we mentioned earlier on that it would have been, it would have been a lot better if we spoke about toxic masculinity first and then toxic femininity, so there could be a balance. But I don't think that's much of a problem because we still will be talking about toxic masculinity in the coming week or so. So far so good. We have been really talking about what we think toxic femininity is. We've spoken about the difference between toxic feminism and toxic femininity. Also we've talked about sometimes women, since we're focusing on toxic femininity this time, we've spoken about women bringing out, like, drawing the woman card to get out of trouble, or to just using it for the wrong reasons, exaggerated femininity. So yeah, and we were just, before we went on the break, we were just about to talk about even when the woman is not necessarily doing anything bad, but it's like she's okay. For example, let's examples are always better, aren't they? They help us understand what the person is trying to say. So for example, a woman is in shall I say an abusive relationship, um because her husband, or shall we say, even if it's not an abusive relationship, maybe the husband is just not understanding of the woman, or he's he's having a cold attitude towards the woman, or there's just no he's just not trying at all. The woman feels like, okay, as female were more were more patient, were more tender, were more sensitive. So she tries to hide her own feelings to please the man. And it's taking a toll on her mental health, her physical health. She's suffering in silence, and this man keeps acting the way he's acting because she's not saying anything back. She's not explaining to him. She's not sitting him down and talking to him about what he's doing wrong or what he's not doing right. He just keeps on living that way, thinking that's the best way to live. And this woman is dealing with all these problems by herself, suffering in silence, thinking, yeah, let me just, I can do it. I don't want to make him angry. Um, I don't want to be disrespectful to him or just, it's toxic. That is toxic femininity at its finest. It's like she won't speak out her mind, say what she's feeling. And this man keeps putting up this attitude that feels cold to her and everything. All she needs to do is just sit him down and explain to him how she's feeling and tell him that she wants him to stop whatever he's doing that is wrong. And together they can find a solution. But because, she feels like she wants to put her husband's feelings first and all that, is really taking a toll on some women's mental health and physical health, and it really shouldn't be like that. I think because we are the woman, and we are the tender creatures and patient and kind and sweet, it doesn't mean we have to deal with all these negative feelings and emotions all by ourselves. I think if we sit down and have a talk with the person we're in a relationship with, it will go a long way to help that relationship as well. Also to help build the relationship. What do you think, Shion?
Um, regards to that, I completely understand what you're saying. A lot of women have assumed positions that they really are not supposed to assume,
Exactly.
but because of they already have the perception that, oh, I'm a lady, and they're also used to playing that I'm a lady card. Also, the fact that you're a lady doesn't mean you cannot step up when things are falling apart. It doesn't mean you cannot step in to help and hold things when things are also not going the way they are supposed to go. There is something that Lady May used to tell me. She used to tell me, oh, and I know, as in, at first I didn't realize where she got that statement from. And I came across it when I was listening to a message by Miles
Monroe.
Yeah. He was talking about the power of the woman.
Yeah.
And how it's possible, like if you give a woman one, when she's giving you back, she's giving you back 10.
Yeah.
If you give a woman, like normally, even if you give a woman just one single, sorry, I know we're on a PG-13 channel, but when you give a woman one single sperm, she incubates it and then she gives you back a whole baby.
Yeah.
If you give a woman anything, basically women are incubators and they multiply things. So even though we have that tender, sweet, soft side to us, playing that card all the time doesn't just cut it, because we are actually much more than that. We were created as helpmates, not to be below or those type of things. So it's more, it becomes toxic when you don't understand your purpose of being a woman. That's what I feel. I mean, before this conversation, I was telling Marvelous that, oh my God, I don't have anything to say. I don't know what to say. But the more you think about it and the more you see that, oh, these things happen in our daily lives. At the end of the day, God doesn't see a gender. He doesn't see female, doesn't see male. He sees a creation that he has made.
Creation,
so
absolutely.
It's more like, I mean, we can't, I mean, it annoys the more we're talking about it annoys me when a lot of ladies just play that card and say, oh, but I'm a lady, but I'm a woman. But that's taking so long for us as a generation to get to this point whereby ladies have access to things that guys also have access to. Ladies can reach certain places, but now it's like we're starting to draw it back by making excuses for the little things we can't do. You can't do those things, not because you're a female, but just because you haven't put in work to do those things.
Absolutely, yeah.
You haven't tried to do those things. So I just feel like, even like now, the emotional bit you're talking about, like, oh, I'm putting the guy's emotions first before mine. I mean, because I'm a woman, I need to shrink myself and shrink everything I know about this. Do you get what I mean? But at the end of the day, I think marriage is a leveling platform where two complete individuals can come together as one.
Yep.
Because without the woman, the man can't function very well. Without the man, the woman cannot function very well. I'm not saying that they are not mutually exclusive. I just mean, like, it's supposed to be a partnership where both people. So why should you now be putting your own emotions aside and assuming a position that nobody has asked you to assume? So this is just us trying to show that toxic femininity is not just the bad side. You might also be trying to do something good, by considering the other person's emotions and everything. But you're also being you're also like displaying toxic femininity. So there should just be a balance. I think that's what I'm going to say.
Yes, absolutely. There should be a balance. And you mentioned what's it called? You
Hi,
mentioned
my name is Marvelous.
And I'm Cheryl. Join us every Friday at 2 o'clock on Youth Today.
As we delve into youth affairs and lifestyle today, we
We
look forward to sharing with you.
right. So earlier on, you mentioned a woman being able to put her mind to something and actually do it and produce results. I remember it reminded me of a story that we learned in school back then in Nigeria. Um, uh, this was a story that we're always told, like in school, primary school, secondary school. It was a story of a woman called Mary Slessor. Mary Slessor was a Scottish, she was a Scottish a missionary in Nigeria. When was it? Sometime in the 90s, I believe. I can't remember when exactly, forgive me. But she was a Scottish missionary in Nigeria. And what did she do? She did something unthinkable at the time. Somewhere in one of the states in Nigeria, called Cross River State, Calabar, they used to practice the killing of twins. At the time, they thought, it was related to evil, and twins were evil and were not supposed to live, basically. So they would kill them at birth. And it was so sad and so wrong. Everything was wrong with it. And as a Christian at the time, Mary Slessor understood that every life is precious to God and they can't get away with just killing children like that. So she single-handedly stopped the killing of twins then in Calabar. And it was so, like, it's something that people couldn't fathom at that time, because then, of course, women they didn't have as much power as we have now. So everyone would think that if someone was to stop a lifelong tradition of, ethic people, it would probably be a man, right? But this woman, who was a missionary of Christ, just stepped up and successfully stopped the killing of twins, after, of course, encountering so many obstacles, which we can't go into now. But she was able to finally stop it, and her name is engraved in the history of Nigeria. Like, everyone from my time when I was in school knew about Mary Slessor. In fact, she's a pride to Nigerians right now. She wasn't even a Nigerian, she was Scottish. So, this just goes to show that whatever a woman puts their hearts to, they can actually do it and produce results. And that is just buttressing Sean's point, because of course we need to round up in a bit. So, and of course, the last point that I just want to give, sorry, let me get my words right. So next week we'll be having guests on the show, hopefully, and we'll be having 2 guests on our show that will help us better, like, will bring their own different ideas, and they'll help us better understand, the term toxic feminism. But just one last point I want to share, and that is the fact that, ladies also do something that is really toxic, and that is prioritizing their appearance over everything else in their lives. Like, some ladies believe that they don't need to study. All they need to do is just go and marry a rich man. Shane, do you agree with me? They believe
I know some people
some,
do that.
not all, of course. You're not supposed to generalize everything all the time, but some ladies actually, and it hurts me to hear some ladies say that they don't want to struggle. All they want to do is just look beautiful, look pretty, so that a rich man will snatch them up.
An example of toxic femininity.
It is a very, very good example of toxic femininity, if I must say so myself. Because your appearance, okay, let me read. Like we said, we always end our radio shows with a Bible passage. I'll read my own Bible passage from, just give me a minute. I'll read my own Bible passage from 1 Peter chapter 3, verse 3 to 4. 1 Peter 3, 3 to 4. It says, your adornment must not be merely external, with elaborate braided hair, or wearing gold jewelries, or being superficially preoccupied in expensive clothing, but let it be the inner beauty, the hidden person of the heart, with imperishable quality and unfading charm of a gentle and peaceful spirit, one that is calm and self-controlled, which is very precious in the sight of God. I pray in the mighty name of Jesus that God will really, really help us to abstain from every exaggerated femininity, and actually to just focus on living our lives to please God. In Jesus' name. Amen. So thank you very much for joining us today. We appreciate you for joining our show. I'll hand over to Sheun now to round up.
All right. Thank you, Mavi. Thank you so much for that Bible passage. Thank you guys for joining us, for listening in. Please, if you do have any questions, don't forget to, send them to us personally or via our social media platforms on YouTube, Instagram, and the likes. And also, we're really sorry. I mean, we just like to apologize for the technical glitches that we had today. Some things go on in the background sometimes that we don't know, but yeah, hopefully by the grace of God, next week will be much smoother, and we'll have everyone here again, and we'll have our lovely guests as well. Thank you for joining us, and join us same time next week on this station. Bye. Have a lovely week.
Bye. Have a lovely week. Happy Children's Day.
I will say of the Lord, He's my refuge, my fortress. I will trust in the Lord, He's my shield and my strength. Búburú kan kò ní súnmọ́ mi, torí mo wà níbi ìkọ̀kọ̀. Ọ̀gá ògo alágbára, Elédùmarè, ẹni tó jókòó síbi ìkọ̀kọ̀. Ọ̀gá ògo yóò máa gbé abẹ́ òjìji. Ẹni tó jókòó síbi ìkọ̀kọ̀. Ọ̀gá ògo yóò máa gbé abẹ́ òjìji. Elédùmarè. I will say of the Lord, He's my refuge, my fortress. I will trust in the Lord. He's my strength and my shield. Búburú kan kò ní súnmọ́ mi, torí mo wà níbi ìkọ̀kọ̀. Ọ̀gá ògo alágbára, Elédùmarè, ẹni tó jókòó síbi ìkọ̀kọ̀. Ọ̀gá ògo ló máa gbé abẹ́ òjìji. Ẹni tó jókòó síbi ìkọ̀kọ̀.